Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Kitty is here today, as promised. So we've got a good bit going on today. We've got a huge channel announcement. Going to give you a sneak peek of something that we got coming up that's been in the works for a little bit. We're going to talk about mindfulness today. Hi, Kitty. And then we'll do some Q&A, and we'll finish up with a little mindfulness session just like we did last time. So again, I am using a different mic this time because the last one, the pop filter, got in the way of being able to see Kitty. So let me make sure that the audio levels are good on this one too. Give me a little shout out if you can hear me okay. Hello, good to see you. Thanks for joining the live stream today. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. That's very much appreciated. For those of you who just joined, I was just going over what we were going to do today. Like I promised, because we hit the 2,500 subscriber level, we are going to be making a big announcement tonight. You guys get the first sneak peek at what we're doing next with the channel. You can probably hear Kitty purring in the mic. Then we'll talk about mindfulness. We will do some Q&A, and then we will finish up with a mindfulness session. Before I forget, we will not be doing a live stream next week because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So I hope everyone has a good holiday as we get into that season where things are just really busy. We're just going to wait for a few more people to show up here. I know it is on a different night than we normally do, so we might have some fewer people, but I'm glad for all of you all who are here and are joining us today. All right, well, let me just pull up a little something for you all. Like I said, so I was curious whether we would actually hit the 2,500 sub mark today, because this morning we were sitting at 2,499. And then just in the last couple hours, we got maybe 3 or 4 more subscribers. So now we're sitting over 2,500, and I'm excited to be able to show you all this. All right, so this is what we're going to be coming up with. All right. So we are going to be opening up a channel store. This is on Spreadshop. So as you see, we've got men and women's shirts. We've got mugs and got stickers, hats, other shirts. So yeah, I'm excited to open up the store. I will post the link for that in the community tab and turn that on the channel videos and all of that stuff with the merch shelf that's built into YouTube after this video. But I wanted you all to have the first look at it. Thank you all for being here and supporting the channel through these live streams. And I am really excited for this to open up and for you all to be able to get access to this stuff. I am going to be placing an order for that soon myself. So I hope to be able to demo some of these products for you, and you can see that they're actually high quality, that they're good, that they're worth getting. So I will be posting the link for that soon once I get off this live stream and can get over to my other computer to be able to start setting all of that up and making that happen for real. So that is what we've got going on. And let me just say also that I really want to thank you all for getting us to this point where this is even a possibility. A couple months back when we were just starting this channel and before things really started growing, this was not even something that was on my radar. We were just trying to get views, get people to watch the videos, and to be at this point where we're able to release products like this, to be able to do these live streams and all of that stuff. That's just, I'm just really grateful for that. I want to thank you all that you've made that happen. It's really amazing. So let me move right along. And let us go over to what is mindfulness. So, we did a little bit of mindfulness work last time, and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what that really is. And there's a lot of discourse around that now. There's a lot of people recommending it, a lot of health experts, doctors, all that stuff. A lot of research showing that mindfulness is helpful. But I want to get a little behind the veil and talk about really what mindfulness is and why and how it can be helpful for us. I think the first thing to think of with mindfulness is there's a really good definition out there that it's an intentional, non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. I want to break that down a little bit for you because there's a lot of keywords in that. Intentional meaning that it doesn't happen by accident. We need to make that a normal part of our routine. We need to be intentional about that, choosing to be mindful. And then non-judgmental. This is the biggest part. When we did our mindfulness meditation last time, for those of you all who were here, we focused on things that we felt, things that we thought, and then things that we were judging. And our brains are naturally wired to judge and evaluate things, whether things are good or bad. We talk about sometimes good or bad emotions. And the way that I approach that when I'm doing counseling with my clients is that there are no bad emotions. There are uncomfortable emotions. There are some that keep us from what we would like to do, but they're not bad in and of themselves. They exist for a reason, depending on your faith background or whether you have a faith background or not. We developed our emotions or we were given our emotions for a reason, and they serve a purpose. And so sometimes those emotions might get in the way of what we are trying to do, but the more that we judge those emotions, the harder it is to actually move past them, to accept them and be able to let them move on. So that's what the non-judgmental piece is about, is just being aware of how we're feeling or of what we're thinking, what we're telling ourselves, and being okay with what that is. And then the awareness, paying attention to what our body's experiencing, what we're telling ourselves, how we're feeling, both physically and emotionally. And then that present moment, just I use the example of having my mind and my body be in the same place at the same time. So if I'm anxious about something, my mind is jumping off into the future. So even though my body is in the present moment, my mind is off in the future. And that's not being mindful. And so I can reconnect by being mindful and having my attention be focused on what my body's experiencing at the moment, even if that anxiety is really uncomfortable to be paying attention to. So that's kind of my breakdown of what mindfulness is. And in practice, it looks very different because you can be intentionally mindful during a lot of things. So I've found over the years that working out sometimes is my mindfulness practice. Now, it doesn't look the same as other people's mindfulness practice, but that's okay. That's a time when I'm being very intentionally aware of what my body is doing, what my body is experiencing, and how I'm feeling. And it's the movement of the exercises that cues my mind to really connect with what's going on with my body at that moment. For some people, mindfulness includes just sitting still and paying attention and meditating like we normally think of. And some people do that through art. Some people do that through time in nature, taking walks, things like that. So there's not one right way to do it. A lot of times it's the intentionality, that first part of that definition, that is the most important part, is that I'm just trying to be mindful, even if it doesn't feel like I'm doing great at it in the moment. So some of the benefits, it can definitely support attention. Some of the meditation exercises can be really helpful for calming our bodies, helping us to process through emotions and not feel as stuck in them. Some of the breathing exercises can be calming just physically because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system within our body that actually calms us and brings us down from our fight or flight response. What I don't like about how popular mindfulness is that people tend to overpromise. They think that if you're mindful, you won't be anxious anymore. You won't be depressed anymore. You're just not being mindful enough, which kind of defeats the purpose of that, right? Because now we're being very evaluative about our mindfulness, which puts more pressure and more anxiety on us. as we're trying to be mindful and non-judgmental about all of that stuff. So I think here's kind of what sums up mindfulness the best. There was a study with, I think it was acceptance and commitment therapy, which we talked about last time, that focused on using mindful practices when it came to OCD, so obsessive compulsive disorder. So obsessive thoughts and behavioral compulsions that become very impairing for people. And what the researchers found out was that the obsessions actually increased. The people's awareness of their obsessions increased. So the thoughts in their minds, that was actually a lot more clear to them when they were practicing mindfulness. But what happened was that the impairment, the impact of the thoughts became less. There was less anxiety, there was less compulsion about it. And so that's kind of what mindfulness can do. We can be more aware of some of those uncomfortable things, but we can also be more okay with some of those uncomfortable feelings. So I don't want to oversell it. And I think a lot of people end up overselling mindfulness as this cure all for mental health issues. And that's not the case. That's not necessarily even what it was designed for. But that it does have real benefits. And I want to be able to practice some of that with you all towards the end of our live stream so that you can gain some of those benefits. So with that being said, wanted to give you all an opportunity. If you had any questions about mindfulness, you can hold those until the Q&A section, but I wanted to give it to you all for a second here. And I wanted to hear about, since we have Thanksgiving coming up, at least in the US, what are some of your Thanksgiving traditions that you do with your family? I'll just hang out with Kitty here for a minute while you guys type out your responses. I'm excited to hear this. I know I've been posting a lot about, the pumpkin pies and the pumpkin carving. I guess that was more Halloween. And then we got the Christmas tree up as well. So we're just doing all the holidays in the span of a couple weeks. But I am curious to hear what you all's Thanksgiving traditions are, what you do with family, with friends, with pets. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'm excited to read some of those. Oh yeah, and keep in mind that I think on this StreamYard app that my comments are a little delayed. So if I don't read your comment right away, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because it takes the system a little while to refresh. I'll talk a little bit about some of our Thanksgiving traditions. What we started doing over the past couple of years is actually having a Friendsgiving event at our church. Black Friday shopping, yes. But yeah, so we just get like a bunch of people from our church together and have a great meal together. And we're actually having that tomorrow. So I'm really excited for it. Just having a time to hang out with people that I don't always have time to hang out with, and just being in a slightly different kind of environment with them and just spending time sharing a meal together. Black Friday shopping, yes, that was a big one. I feel like, so this might be a bit of a hot take. I feel like Black Friday deals are not as good as they used to be, and that they're just like pretty much any other holiday sale now. It used to be like they were real steals in the stores, and I just don't feel like it's that way anymore. So I don't know. Maybe someone else has noticed that, or maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. Someone can let me know in the comments too. Oh, I guess another thing that some of the guys that I know are doing this year is Thanksgiving morning football. So we're going to a local field at 8 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning and playing some. I guess it'll be flag football if we can find some flags, maybe two-hand touch football. So um, I'm excited for that. I love playing sports, and so this will be a great way to connect with some people, hang out with them, and be able to have some fun that way, especially on a day when people are really not doing anything except until later in the day. But yeah, so unless I got some comments coming in a little later, I'll go back to those if those come in. But let me go to some Q&A. Again, if you have any questions about mindfulness, anything that I talked about with that, or any questions about mental health in general, I'll do my best to answer. I know we've been doing a lot of reaction videos recently because there's just been a lot of therapists who have not been acting right. Beulah says, I always put my Christmas tree up after the festivities on Thanksgiving. Hey, I appreciate you waiting until after Thanksgiving's technically over. As you all saw in the community tab, our tree is up already. It's been lit for a couple days. And so we don't have the patience for that, I guess. But good on you. And it's really cool, like you said, your children do the same. To see that kind of passed down from family to family, even if it's not something that you intentionally told them to do, but that's just become the way that things work. So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, so I was saying that like all of these different, so there was a social worker who slept with a 13 or 14-year-old. There was a school counselor who slept with a 13-year-old. And I just don't know anymore. Like it's easy to say there are just a couple of bad apples, but then like you start seeing all these videos and then start kind of extrapolating that, these are just the people who got found out. That doesn't encompass everyone who's actually doing that. And just starting to think like, is there something really wrong with this profession that are attracting the wrong kind of people to it? And is there anything we could be doing differently in the education process, the training and residency process that could be preventing this, or, finding out some of these people with real problems before they can harm somebody? And I haven't come up with anything good yet. Okay, I think Kitty's done. Had a psychiatrist hit on you when you were 17? Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, potentially you might have left that psychiatrist and never went back, but him or her, or whatever, they might still be practicing at this point, because they may not have done anything bad enough to get kicked out of the profession. And that's really a problem for the entire profession, because first, we're suffering through a mental health crisis. A lot of people need mental health professionals, counselors, social workers, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists. Yeah, I don't blame you for never going back. That is not the kind of experience you were looking for when you went into their office, right? And so we have this mental health crisis, and then bad mental health professionals, people acting unethically, getting into the field for either the wrong reasons or just taking advantage of a privileged position that they've been given. And that erodes trust in the profession, and also turns into, like, if they were one of the only psychiatrists in the area, maybe in this example, now who are you supposed to get medications from? Who are you supposed to see for your mental health problems? It's really like a catch-22. If you've got your own mental health problems going on, your struggles with mental health, and then the person that you're going to and trusting with that is trying to take advantage of the situation. And it's just a really messed up kind of dynamic. And I don't know, maybe there needs to be like a lie detector test before you get licensed or something. I just don't know how we don't make it unnecessarily burdensome for people to become mental health professionals, because we do need more of them. but also without letting the people through who are doing this for the wrong reasons. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't see a username next to your comment, but thank you for sharing that. I know that's got to be a terrible experience. Thank you for sharing. I think Kitty wants to get back up. Do you want to get back up? He's meowing at me. I think he wanted treats. Okay, come on up. Oh, come on up. Okay. It looks like, oh, hold on. Yeah, more kitty time. That's what everyone's really here for, right? Well, it looks like that's it for Q&A today. Oh, hold on. He's like a big baby. You hear that? You're like a big baby. It's messing with the mic now. So I think this is a good time for us to transition over to doing some mindfulness. I am going to try to keep an eye a little bit on the comments as they show up. But for the next 10 minutes, I'll mostly have my eyes closed. And for those of you who weren't here last time, this is a guided meditation. I'll just be walking us through some breathing exercises, some attention and focus exercises, and just paying attention. Oh, hold on, one more comment. Sorry, I told you this is all delayed and I'm trying to figure this out. So you're the only therapist that interacts with its members that I'm aware of. Passing knowledge on to others is a wonderful thing. Information about how to react to therapists and rights. Yeah, thank you for saying that, Beulah. Like that's one of the big things that I wanted to do on this channel that differentiates a little bit. I didn't want to just educate on the mental health pieces, but also on counselor identity, what you should be expecting and getting from your mental health professional. And I think that as people feel more empowered to be able to say, like, this person is not the right one for me, just like we do with doctors, just like we do with any other kind of professional, and we can feel empowered to be able to navigate the mental health space the same way that we do with other healthcare, and just learning to be able to recognize, like, that's not okay. They're actually not doing the right thing. Because again, us therapists were put in a privileged position where people assume we know what we're doing. And that's helpful for the people who are doing the job right, and very unhelpful when people are trying to take advantage of that. So I'm hoping that, the reaction videos I do to these counselors and therapists who are doing the wrong thing is not just about, showing by contrast, like, what a good person I am. That's not the point at all. Or to comment on how bad they are, but just so people can recognize, like, that's not appropriate. If this is happening to you, that's not right, and you shouldn't be expecting that. And there are avenues for you to be able to find someone who can do better for you. So thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, advocacy, that in a word that sums up what I'm trying to do here. So yes, like I said, this will be a guided meditation. You all can just follow along with what I'm doing. I'll be doing it along with you, depending on, Kitty's just flopping over now. Look at this. So yeah, you can follow along. I'll try to keep my eye on comments while also doing this at the same time. Again, it's not super mindful, but it's just the space that I'm in right now. I think Kitty's done for the night. And so we'll do our mindfulness activity probably around 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And so then we'll finish up, and I would see you all again after the holiday. So for now, just go ahead and start becoming aware of your body and the space that you're in right now. Maybe you're sitting in front of your computer. Maybe you're holding your phone in front of you. All of that is totally fine. Whether you want your eyes open or closed, that's totally fine as well. Just become aware of the position that your body has chosen to put itself in. Whether your legs are crossed, your feet are on the ground, they're dangling or swinging. Notice the spaces that are holding you up right now, whether it's the floor that's supporting you, or if you're sitting on a chair or a couch. Feel what is holding you and supporting you in this moment, and how your body fits into that space. And as you notice your body, as you gain more of an awareness of your body, you might feel the desire to move around, shift into a more comfortable position. That's totally fine. I would just ask you to just be intentional as you do that. Just being aware of how you are choosing to move and reposition your body. And now turn your focus over to your breath and feel what it is to breathe right now. Whatever sensations stand out to you the most as you breathe. You might notice the sound of your breathing as you breathe in and out. You might notice that breathing feels either very easy or very difficult for you. For some people, if you're feeling sick right now or congested, that might feel like a very labor-intensive breath. And for those of us who are feeling well right now, just sit and appreciate how easily that breath comes to us, that sustains us and keeps us alive, but can feel so easy at the same time. You might notice how your body interacts with your breathing, how your chest rises and falls, how your shoulders and your head rise up and sink back down with each inhale and exhale. And as we're becoming aware of these sensations, just because I point them out doesn't mean you have to have the same experience. So when I say that there's a certain movement that you might notice, you don't have to manufacture that for yourself. If it's there, then it's there. And if it's not, your body's still interacting with your breath in some way, some form or fashion. So just notice what's going on with your body as you breathe. I'm going to ask you to shift your focus a little bit towards your sense of hearing. And then to focus on what are the sounds that are going on around you. Even if you might have headphones or earphones in, there'll still be ambient noise that you can hear. Just sit for a moment and pay attention to the sounds around you. And as we practice that non judgmental awareness, just recognize that these sounds are neither good nor bad. They might be annoying, some of them might be soothing, some of them might be jarring. And for now, they just exist. They're just what we sense through our ears right now. And now go ahead and turn your attention back to your breath. Reconnect with the rest of your body. And check in with yourself, how you feel now. We're not necessarily looking for any change. If something has changed or feels different, just go ahead and notice that again. We don't have to evaluate, it's just something that's happened in the time that we've been mindful. And take one final breath. You can go ahead and open your eyes if you had them closed. As always, before we finish up, I want to leave some space for you all to kind of discuss how that felt for you, what the experience was like. Again, in emphasizing that non-judgmental awareness right now, I'm not looking to grade or evaluate how well you were mindful or not mindful. If you felt like there were a bunch of thoughts just going in and out and you couldn't really stay focused, great. You still sat here and tried, and you were intent. There was that intent, like we talked about. And again, this is a practice that people get better at over time. And so if you felt super distracted in this moment, that's totally fine. We're nearing the end of the week. Holidays are coming up. People tend to be more distracted with all of that stuff going on anyway. I'd love to hear some of your feedback on how you're feeling right now, if you feel comfortable sharing that. And um, yeah, just what the experience was like for you, because this is a very individual kind of exercise. And then even though we were all following the same guidance, that experience will still differ from person to person. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Feeling a lifting of spirit and the day drifts away. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where everybody's time zones are, but yeah, for us, it's been dark for a little while now. Yeah, uh, that's definitely something that I've had to realize. Like I've done some of the breathing stuff with clients who have been congested or had allergies, and they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't breathe right now," and I have to kind of recalibrate sometimes to kind of focus on like, okay, yeah, what does it feel like to not be able to breathe? Oh yeah, Tennessee. Okay, yeah, so you're still in the Eastern time zone. Yeah, just like as the day's kind of drifting away, it's nice to be able to kind of let your body sink into that as well, with just the natural rhythms of daylight or lack of it. Yeah. So thank you all for doing that with me. I do appreciate it. Again, I will be posting links and starting to add I think YouTube calls it the merch shelf, to the YouTube videos, so that you can all check out the store for yourselves. Um, if you don't see it right away, it's because I've run into some technical issues, or YouTube has to approve it, or there's some kind of hiccup with linking the two platforms. So rest assured that I am working on it, and you will see it, if not tonight, at least in the next couple of days. But thank you all for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good holiday. And I look forward to hearing about how the Thanksgiving holiday went for you all next time we meet, which will most likely be a Tuesday in, I guess it would be like 1.5 weeks. But again, look on the community tab and I will make sure to advertise when that live stream is going to be. In the meantime, I'll still be putting out videos. I think I've got some scheduled for next week. So, yeah, thank you all for your time tonight. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a good night.